Ladies and gentlemen, today I had to deal with the infamous stripped Torx. These are E-Torx. I think these are E8s. Bolts. Little history. The E-Torx stands for external Torx, also called star bit. They're made for high torque, so they're made to operate in these conditions, which they seem to usually fail in for many different reasons. But I think the primary reason is that it's just such a unusual bit. Most people don't have them. A lot of other bits will fit it. A 12, a quarter-inch socket, 6-point, 12-point will fit it. But you really do need to use the proper E-Torx or star bit sockets. Nothing universal, something that is specifically made for the E-Torx. And so here I had to drill the bottom bolt out. I have lots of video on that, so I'll chronicle you through that, but I finally got it grinded down. I used this DeWalt grinder. I think this is aluminum oxide and another aluminum oxide. This one here is about half the size it used to be. And after a lot of grinding, I finally was unable to unseat the supercharger, and it's ready to come on out. And as far as where or what I grinded on, this is the area that was being ground on. As you can see, I had grinded away a lot of the material here, so I was missing a lot of the bolt. But that's just due to the shape of the bolt and the angle that you have behind your drill. So a shorter drill, if I had, for instance, something like short like this, like a ratchet, I could get a better angle on it, whereas a drill, because you have a longer handle, it actually starts to hit different parts of the jet ski. So after about 35 to 45 minutes of drilling and checking to make sure that I was in this vicinity, because I was actually committed to just drilling this whole area off. I didn't even care as long as I didn't damage the internal part. I was committed to that. I could have re-welded this back. It's nothing for me. So I didn't really get to touch much in here, and this is probably the only area that hung me up. But that was the goal, was to just keep feeling drilling. That was the step. Take the cover off. Try to get as much view of what you're doing as possible. I also had to remove the exhaust. I removed the intake hoses and any air hoses that were going in. They're folded up there now. So you want to create enough space so that you can reach in there and move around. You can see there, look at all the dust that was created. You see this engine here. This engine here actually has looks like water in the oil, so you'll see in the video I was working on that as well. And so sometimes I've noticed that when the oil is a certain length, depending on how much oil is in the engine block, it could leak out of the supercharger intake. So in this case, I paused what I was doing with the oil to take care of the supercharger. I'll then get the oil together, put the supercharger in, fill it all up, and we'll be fine. But all hope is not lost. You don't have to take the engine out. You just have to be very diligent in the process. Get the right tools. These oxide bits took it down very, very fast, very, very easily. The challenge was just getting it on the head of the bolt. The smoother or flatter you can get the head of the bolt when you start drilling, the better. If you start getting angles, then it'll start pushing you off and out of the way of what you actually want to drill. So now that I have the supercharger off, I'll go ahead and get it rebuilt and get this puppy back on. So we got a lot of videos to do. Obviously, you see we've got two. I really hope I don't have to drill the other one, but we'll see what happens.